as you are using Scanner to take in input from the user, you'll notice something, right? So take a look at this program here. We're using a scanner object to read in a new line for the name, last name, zip code, birthday, phone number, username, password, and then re-entering in the password. And then if I go ahead and run the program, then I could type in my name, last name, zip code, birthday, and then do you see that? It asks for the phone number, and right here I have a nextLine, but it seems as if the nextline's not being actuated, it's not running because it skips right over to the next one. What's your username, which is the next line after that next line, right? So you might be saying to yourself, like, what the heck is going on? It's skipping this line of code, line 31, right? And so yeah, something you got to understand about how this all works, especially if you're using Scanner. When, let's say we're here, right, and I enter in my name, and what you don't see is when you hit enter, it adds a character to the input. It adds a new line, right? So \n. But here that's fine because this is nextLine, so it grabs all of this and it sticks it into the variable first name. Okay, and the next one, it's the same thing. It's a nextLine, so it grabs everything, including the \n, and it puts it into the variable last name, right? And I think it cuts off the \n as well. So like last name is equal to Lee and first name is equal to Daniel without the new line. And then we do the zip code, but the zip code is next int, right? And what does next int do? It grabs the next integer value that it sees. So here's the input, and it grabs this, and it puts that number into zip, right? But it leaves behind the new line. Okay, so the new line is still there, it's still hanging out, and when I enter in my birthday, this is what's on the queue. Okay, we have the new line that's left over from the previous next int, we have the number I enter in, and then we have a new line from when I hit enter after entering in my birthday. But that's fine because this is a next int, right? And so since it's the next int, it's gonna just grab the integer value. So this number is gonna be placed into birth. What it's gonna leave behind is a \n. So when we're here at the username, what it has here is a \n. And then, oh, I'm sorry, this is for phone number. Phone number. Okay. \n, yeah. So this is for phone number, and so we have a \n that's left over from the previous next int, right? And we have the phone number, and we have a \n from when I hit enter. But this actually doesn't happen, right? And so like it doesn't even allow me to enter in my phone number. And so the reason why it doesn't let me allow me to enter in my phone number is because it automatically grabs the \n that was left over from the previous next int. So it looks like it's skipping line 31, but it's not skipping line 31. It's grabbing the new line that was left over from the next int and putting it into phone, and then it's doing the next, what's your username, and then it's waiting for the next line. This one doesn't have the same issue, because there's nothing left on the queue. There's no new lines on the queue because we grabbed it up. It grabbed it up here, so there's nothing there. So then this is waiting for you to enter in an input, right? And when you do enter in an input here, it doesn't have the same issue here on 37 because this is nextLine. It grabs the entire line that you typed in along with the new line that you hit when you hit enter. So this issue only happens following any next something that's not a nextLine, right? So nextLine grabs the input and grabs the new line, right? But everything else, like next int, next char, next double, next float, they all leave the new line. So you could have next int, next float, next double all next to each other, and that's fine. But if you have any of those other nexts and then you have a nextLine, you're gonna have an issue right there where you're gonna have the issue. Okay, because this guy is going to leave behind the new line. This guy is going to automatically grab it and basically kind of like semantically it's going to skip line 31, right? When you want this to happen, you want them to enter in a number. So how do we fix this? Well, what you can do is, if you ever have this transition from a next something to a next line, you can do it twice, right? So this next line is going to grab the new line and put it into phone, and then it's going to do what's your phone number, and then this next line is going to wait for the user to type something in. And now phone is going to contain what you want it to contain, not the new line from the previous next int. So hopefully that was clear, and if not, let me know and we can talk about it.